Just say this: deconstructing from your worldview, religious upbringing, or political ideology is hard. It requires you to be vulnerable and swallow your pride.
Glad to have you, amazing viewer. It's another exciting time at Comfort for Life Network. We are here for educational purposes. Let's dive into today's video. In today's video, we'll be looking at Americans who are deconstructing ideologies. And in this particular video, we will be focusing on political ideologies. I will be dropping quite a number of videos on this particular topic because I've realized that there are quite a lot of things that Americans are taking a step to challenge. The deconstruction journey is often undertaken when the reality doesn't meet the ideologies. So you are living in a world where it's an imaginary world full of ideologies and you believe them to be true, but concretely nothing proves that. And it takes humility for somebody to realize that they should deconstruct. And how is it often done? We are essentially discussing individuals who are questioning, challenging, or reevaluating their belief and values within this sphere, that is the political one. I just want to remind you that these are people's thoughts. Don't forget, don't hesitate. Actually, leave your thoughts in the comment section. If you have something to contribute on this particular topic, you're welcome to share your thoughts. Enjoy the rest.
American democracy is a funny and fragile thing. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The question still remains, whose life are they referring? They profess this for all, but mean it for a few. If you're black, brown, a woman, or anything but straight, I know you will absolutely be able to relate. If you're not cis, white, and male, that wasn't written for you. See, here in America, women don't even have autonomy. We turn to the men who make the laws over our own bodies. We claim racism ended with slavery, yet they still face it every day with many microaggressions being thrown their way. Oh, but let's not forget our justice system weaponized against every person of color. That's if they make it that far with police brutality and unchecked power. But tell me again how America is great. All you have to do is ignore all of the hate. Rainbows and gay marriage? Absolutely not. We ban that love. Because hell, why not? We call them pedos and bully those people. But all lives were created equal. That's what they say, unless those people just happen to be gay. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. To whose life are they referring? The American dream is only for a few, but do you really think it was created for you? Face reality and revive the dream for the next generation, or be doomed to repeat this cycle of degradation. CPR supposedly works well because I'm really just tired of living in this hell.
Democracy in the U.S. is bourgeois democracy. It's not a people's democracy. It is a democracy that has been violently imposed on the working class.
I know we like to pretend that America is a democracy. It's like a huge part of the American mythos to understand our position of imperial power in the world and also to make sense of our horrible violent past. But you don't even need a microscope or a magnifying glass or even a black light in order to start seeing the ways that our so-called democratic values are crumbling. It even started with the foundation of this country, right? Where only the people who own a property, who were literally invested in the settler colonial project, had the right to vote. And we expanded the right to vote, but I also don't need to be a philosopher to question why we call them rights to begin with if we're so willing to include and exclude specific people. It's very, very transparent to me that America has only ever been a democracy for those who can pay to play, who have been deemed valuable enough to have on their side, aka white women. We go on and accept this water is wet or whatever, But I had another level of understanding of this when I was working on the short session in the Oregon legislature, where the fate of literally millions and millions of dollars is determined by a finite number of 15-minute meetings with members of the legislature and a list of registered lobbyists. And then we also have that insane thing that happened last session where a whole bunch of Republicans walked out in protest to support their fascist agenda. So it ain't working. What we're doing ain't working. I'm still working on my very, very long short session roundup. My working title is No One Is Coming to Save Us, and it's going to feature many of my circular thoughts and circular conversations I had with my boss throughout the 5 weeks of organized chaos. That'll be going up on my housing Substack called Housing Authority at some point in the near future. I'm on my second draft, and I'm really proud of it, and I'm really excited to put it out in the world and start these conversations.
I recently just had my worldview crumble around me. For a very long time, I was very set in the way that I saw the world, and I really thought that I had it all figured out. And as I went in search of trying to understand how people on the other side of the political spectrum could still vote for who they're voting for, in spite of all the things that that person has done, I started to realize that I don't have it all figured out. And I personally don't think I ever will. But as I forced myself to listen to people that I didn't agree with, instead of me just having the natural reaction of judging them and condemning them for their beliefs, I really made an effort to try to hear what they're saying and to understand it, because we can't move forward together if we don't understand each other. So as I took this journey, I really started to kind of have holes poked in the way that I view the world. And as that started to happen, I was first terrified. I was very, very scared because I was so confident. And I started thinking back to the things that I've said to people and the way that I've treated people. And I was on this morally high ground where I was looking at people and saying, you know what? I'm so sorry that you're down there. If you just understood a little bit more, if you were just a little smarter or a little less bigoted, you might understand and you might come over and be with me because it's wonderful over here. And I had comfort in that. And over the last few days, I've just fallen down to reality to understand that I don't know anything. And it's been both equally terrifying and liberating, because it's allowed me to start looking at things not through a specific lens, through a specific set of glasses where I have to see the world the same way, and I will find justifications to make it make sense according to my worldview. And I can now look at things objectively and start making true sense of what's going on. And it's really hard. The institutions that we have, the politicians that we have intentionally made it very hard for us to truly understand. And instead of me being on my high horse, looking down upon people, I can now look around to people who are also trying to understand. And we can start finding some common ground, because while we might have different worldviews, we might have different base ideologies that kind of formulate our own identities, we can try to at least live in the same reality. And that starts by understanding each other. And not just hearing what people are saying, but truly understand what people are saying. And be able to put ourselves in their shoes. Be like, you know what, if I saw the world the way that you did, I would probably feel the same way. And if we can start doing that, we might stand a chance
to listen to the next clip
of fixing
carefully. It
what has been done
has a
to
form
us.
of an ideal democracy. It's
Otherwise,
unfortunate
I
that
don't
we are
see
not
a path forward for us
implementing
together at
democracy
all.
as we should. Democracy shouldn't create inequality in our society, but it should bring that cohesion and unity and also equality.
Constitutional republic, not a democracy. The ideal of a democracy is universal equality. The ideal of a constitutional republic is individual liberty. A democracy always degenerates into dictatorship, which promises government-guaranteed equality and security, but it delivers nothing but poverty and serfdom for the people it robs and rules. America was founded as a constitutional republic to safeguard the liberties of the people against the tyranny of democracy or of one-man dictatorship. In this century, great strides have been made toward the goal of subverting our republic into a democracy. The foremost tactic of the subverters is subversion of language. By calling America a democracy until people thoughtlessly accept and use the term, the totalitarians have obscured the real meaning of our principles of government.
Former FBI agent Dan Smoot made that video 50 years ago, and it's more right today than it ever has been.
Let me just say this. Deconstructing from your worldview, religious upbringing, or political ideology is hard. It requires you to be vulnerable and swallow your pride. It requires deep reflection. If any of these things require you to justify genocide, oppression of another, violence, or prejudice against another, turn around. You are not more free if you take away freedoms from others. You are not more blessed or highly favored if you're privileged. Take a hard look at the role you've played in upholding these systems and backtrack. If I can do it, then I know you can do it. Dropping bombs on children and civilians who are already starving is never the answer. And if it is, you're worshiping the wrong God. And in doing so, you will lose yourself. And for the sake of humanity, I need you to take the long journey back with me. You won't be traveling alone, but it's far past time for you to turn around.
That was an amazing sharing. Thank you. I appreciate that you've watched to this extent. I just want to tell you that deconstruction is an amazing thing to do. It promotes empathy. It encourages individuals to consider diverse viewpoints and experiences. You know, when you go through this deconstruction journey, you'll be able to look around, above, beneath, and you'll realize that there's a wider world around you that you've not explored yet, because you are trying to feel comfortable in a place that doesn't fit you. Sorry to say. But that was it about this video. Don't forget to leave your thoughts in this video. Kindly don't forget to contribute to this. Your thoughts matters on this. And also like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell, and goodbye for now.